Good morning. Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Yediyurappa ji, Honorable Ministers on dais, President of CREDAI Karnataka, Mr. Sushil Mantri, all distinguished guests, members of Executive Committee, members of Convention Committee, members of press, fellow developers, ladies and gentlemen. I believe there is no shortcut to distinction of life. And same dogma is required to be applied in every sphere of life to get going. Any deviation from this rudimental principle is destructive. And it is this deviation which is the root cause of the present destiny of India. And more particularly, real estate market. The market can be reckoned as a golden goose. And more particularly, this has fallen prey to two major factors. One is the corrupt and inferious practices by few in the industry and establishment. Second is the antediluvian government policies coupled with red tapeism. In my opinion, real estate is the noblest of all the existing professions of contemporary India. Today, India is short of 27 million homes, and colossal percentage of it falls in LIG and EWS category. This shortfall is bound to thrive in geometric proportion. Truly speaking, there is no way that this astronomical shortfall of homes could be achieved without the facile, pragmatic and meaningful intervention of the government machinery. Friends, there is no time to procrastinate. Rather, time has ripened enough to act collectively and accomplish the dream related to the construction of mass homes in India, and that is homes for all by working relentlessly together. There is no magic wand to achieve this target. We should be equipped with a few non-tangible assets like devotion, discipline, commitment, enthusiasm, exuberance, hope, conviction, etc. At the end of the developers and authorities as well. Rest will automatically fall in line. CREDAI has to redefine real estate values through mission transparency, which today stands as CREDAI's developers anthem. And this anthem has to be proclaimed all around this country till the mission is realized. But prior to that, we have to set our own house in order and make it clean. Hence, it is mandatory of each CREDAI member to sign code of conduct and immediately form the much awaited grievance redressal cells in all cities of Karnataka, if not formed yet. We need to demonstrate our prowess in letter and spirit, and then we can move confidently to take up all real estate issues with nodal bodies. In various interactions with ministers and authorities, we were reassured about sensitivity of government towards one window clearance and our mission transparency. However, we are waiting for positive and speedier action by the government to achieve one window clearance. I reiterate, if implemented, the housing can be cheaper by 10 to 25%. It will increase the housing stock by whopping 100%. It will create 100% more jobs. And if you are worrying about revenue, sir, it will double. It will be 100% growth in revenue if implemented. And by my own experience, I can say this has happened in other states in terms of when stamp duty was rationalized. So it will happen even when approval system is rationalized. It will move to 50 industries and their production will double. It will contribute to 1.5% of GDP. And this is not what Lalit Kumar Jain is saying, this is what McKinsey says. Sincerely, sir, mission transparency we have submitted to all government authorities. The Minister of Urban Development, Minister of Housing, all Chief Minister and Chief Secretaries of all states. These documents are: 1. Comprehensive checklist leading to one window clearance. 2. Best practices. You will be happy to note that both the documents are prepared by committees spearheaded by Mr. Balkrishna Hegde and Mr. Sushil Mantri, who belong to Karnataka. The comprehensive checklist, if implemented, will result into one window clearance, and we can give approval within 3 weeks instead of current time taken, which is 2 to 3 years. While central government will try to take initiative, it is definitely within states' jurisdiction to tackle most of the issues, as this is a state subject. Hence my humble request to you, sir, you can lead this movement in the country and become crusader of mission transparency. Keeping tradition of the proud Karnataka state, we also now solicit support of all citizens, media, judiciary to eradicate cancer of corruption by supporting mission transparency. India, as we all know, is witnessing an urban population explosion. This population is predominantly young, and as high as 65% of them are in age group of below 35. They are hungry. They are hungry not just for employment, but a dignified living. With full responsibility, I would like to say that we are in for a huge future shock and urban chaos very soon. To quote the McKinsey 2010 report, the cost of not paying attention to India's cities is enormous. Today's policy vacuum risks worsening urban decay and gridlock, a declining quality of life for citizens, and reluctance amongst investors to commit resource to India's urban centers. We believe that the lack of serious policies to manage urbanization could jeopardize even 7.4% of GDP rate, which we assume as a base case, risking high unemployment. Further, that cities could generate 70% of net new jobs created by the year 2030, produce more than 70% of India's GDP, and derive a near 4-fold increase in per capita incomes across the nation. It took nearly 40 years from 1971 to 2008 for India's urban population to rise by 230 million. It could take only half that time to double. It is scary. The role of cities, and I would like to stress, is to provide mass scale employment and revenue to state. Hence, cities will have to grow. The state of Karnataka has a major role to play in nation development, as well as shaping life of aspiring youth of India and this state. While private car ownership would increase, shortcoming in the transportation infrastructure have the potential to create an urban gridlock similar to the acute congestion that cripples some of the Latin American cities. Bangalore is already an example similar to that. This is unfortunate. With current rate of infrastructure development, the gap in basic infrastructure like mass transit, road, drainage and water will multiply 2 to 4 times. Though the Planning Commission and the government recognizes this aspect, there is no coordinated effort to plan to face this challenge. We need to have a vision for the future, identify the future growth areas in each city and develop concrete action plan. I believe each city should set a vision plan for itself. The real estate developers, as I said, are going to see an unprecedented growth in this business. The entire developer community must gear up to grow exponentially in the coming years, and in fact, it's not mere opportunity but a challenge and even the national duty to be able to contribute to this massive demand and contribute to GDP. Affordable housing has become a favorite topic of public debates by politicians, that too without any concrete action plan. Let me deal with this threadbare. You will be shocked to hear this. There are 5 elements of costs in real estate development: land, material, labor, approval cost and taxes. Material cost and labor cost is ever rising. Now we talk of approval cost. The Mission Transparency has the solution to tackle this, but you will be surprised to note that approval cost goes up to 40% of sales value, and this is not me talking, McKinsey report says this. Then comes the taxation. 30 to 36% of sale value goes in taxes. Now this includes excise, VAT, service tax, PF, stamp duty, works contract tax, municipal taxes, cess and premiums, and income tax, etc. It is necessary that we create tax-free zones for defined affordable housing. The third element is land. In my recent tour across the city, I found in most of the tier 2, tier 3 cities, lands are converted, agriculture lands, and sold in plotting. It is nothing but a crime. We are destroying agricultural land and reducing green cover. We are also making urban infrastructure unviable. Global urban science talks of high density vertical development for viable infrastructure, progressive green cover, but in our country, FAR or FSI is a taboo. This very country, in Hyderabad, a very revolutionary idea came into practice and became a milestone where FSI concept was removed, and this results in a well-planned, disciplined development at no price escalation. The Hyderabad experiment clearly proves if we can increase the load on the land, we also reduce cost and flood the market with supply and ultimately control prices and make infrastructure viable. Sir, State of Karnataka leads the country in information technology. The developers in this very state have demonstrated very high level of commitment with high standard of performance. The leadership position of Karnataka in development, governance and progressiveness will have to continue. And I am sure it will. I wish CREDAI Karnataka and its member a great success. Jai Hind.